Why, hello there, friends. Welcome to another round of Modern. This time we have Chris Charity on Amulet Titan versus Harley Smale on Golgari Yawgmoth. We have Chris on the play, Lee on Urza Saga into an Amulet of Vigor. And that is like the best turn one that you can possibly have in the deck. You represent a lot of potential damage.
Just basic forest.
I was going to fetch, probably shock here, and get a. Actually, he's probably getting a face. No, he could be shock here. Yep, gets a basic farce and plays out an ignoble hierarch, aka the Jund hierarch, aka the little goblin boy, just doing his best, you know. Chris is going to play a Valgud the Molten Pinnacle. It'll enter tapped and then untap due to Amulet of Vigor, and probably just pass the turn. Gonna untap draw. This is an interesting matchup because I don't exactly know who's favored. I believe it's Titan. I was talking to Chris about it on Monday. I don't think I've ever lost this matchup as Titan against Yawgmoth, but again, I also think I've beaten Titan every time I've played Yawgmoth. So I'm not too sure. Alright, we're going to fetch. Probably just getting a basic swamp, and then playing Acris the Hunger Tide. And let's see if Chris can kill him. There's going to probably be a lot of actions taking place on this turn.
Holy shit, let's go!
But in the meantime, Harley will in fact get to uptick that Gris before he passes his turn. Maybe he'll hit another Gris. Maybe we'll get multiple activations.
Yep.
Alright, just makes a 1/1 insect. So it's a great moment when you see Grist hit Grist off the mill trigger. Floating a colorless off that Urza Saga. Then Chapter 3 ability is going to go find another artifact, and it's going to be an Amulet of Vigor.
Use my floating colorless to cast an ram.
Using the colorless mana to cast a third Amulet of Vigor, and casting a Summoner's Pact. Now, the gross thing here is that each Primeval Titan is going to chain into multiple Primeval Titans. That Gruul Turf is going to make 6 mana. Here comes Titan. Ideally, he gets Tolari West and Civic Grove Chamber, which looks like the play. Going to make 9 mana total.
So I'd like to
spin things around a little aggressively.
So
Gonna pick up the Tolari West. I'm going to transmute it, more than likely for another Summoner's Pact. Cast another Primeval Titan. Go and get T-West Grove Chamber again, more than likely.
Which means I've got green, 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 blue, blue.
Because then you just Titan 3.
No, I've got 3
and
green.
then give them all haste and then double strike whichever one you want.
I'll go cast a pact.
Not that you really need to double strike them. 3 Slayers activations on 3 different Titans is still 24 damage. But hey,
Titan, I'll go get a
why not?
I'd like to give both my Titans haste. One of them will have 4 power more, and one of them will have 2 power more.
Alright, didn't go for the super greedy route. We were just
I'd like to go to combat.
giving +4 to one of them, +2 to another, going into combat, attacking, and double striking. There's a Sunhome. There's a Suba.
Suba will copy Boros Garrison. So I'll give one of them double strike, and then I'll leave them untapped. Bounce back.
Still have another attack trigger
So
to do.
Yep.
But that is going to be game. Harley's going to scoop it up. Chris is going to take game 1, and we'll be right back with game 2 in just a second, folks.
Yep, good to go.
And we're back with game 3. We got Harley on the play, leaving on a Blooming Marsh.
Boop.
Ooh, into a Birds of Paradise. I think it's Blooming Marsh. Yeah, it looks a little bit different.
Go ahead.
Chris immediately dismembers the Birds of Paradise here. I was going to Thoughtseize.
Shame. Is it shame?
Going to go down to 18. Taking a look at Chris's hand.
I have no idea.
We see an Urza Saga, a
I'm
Tolari
glad that
West,
you looked at it now, honestly.
Amulet of Vigor,
I'm not glad that you paused it.
Titan Cultivator Dismember, which is interesting to keep. I don't think I'd keep this hand. if I were in Chris's
Well, it
position.
doesn't really matter. I drew the Saga.
Typically
This
being on the
opening
draw
and garbage.
and having double Saga hands against green decks is kind of a dangerous spot to be in. Force of Vigor is a card that exists and is most certainly getting sided in against you, especially if it's Yawgmoth.
Yes. Yes.
The hand doesn't really have acceleration. Like you have the Saga, but you don't really have you don't have a bounce land. You could draw into a bounce land. You don't have a Dryad. You have interaction with the Dismembers, but I don't know if it's enough interaction. I also don't know if this is the matchup where you want to be the interactive one. I think this is just the matchup where you want to be the big combo deck and hope it gets you there. Though there is always an argument against hand control decks that you just become the better mid-range deck. So it's interesting because Yawg is also a combo deck, so I think you just pursue the idea of being the better combo deck. Alright, Harley's going to Thoughtseize away the Amulet of Vigor.
Saga, Blooming Marsh, go.
Plays a land for turn. Passes. Looks like another Blooming Marsh.
I'll play a Saga and I'll sing.
Plays Urza's Saga as a land for turn. This is that super dangerous spot. Alright, Harley's going to draw. Shocks in an Overgrown Tomb, going down to 18 or 16. Plays a Crystal Hunger Tide.
Bug.
Gonna mill a Yawgmoth, make an insect. Chris is a newer Amulet player. Harley is a very experienced Yawgmoth player.
Go ahead. I have effects in your draw step. Or in your up.
One of the original Yawgmoth players at the shop at the very least. And an in-draw, or
How could you?
I believe in Chris's draw step before the draw, or in upkeep, Harley cast Force of Vigor, pitching a Dryad Arbor, blowing up the other sagas. Yep, that was an upkeep.
Key West, go.
They tap Teleri West.
One.
Ouch. 15.
The other thing is that Chris just didn't have a green source, so
Thoughtseize, go.
No cards?
I don't know, it's a rough position to be in.
That's pretty good.
You could hypothetically go Saga, Teleri West, Saga.
Oh, I need a
First one pops and gets you a.
I will pass the turn.
We can go Saga, Teleri West, and then have to turn 3, pop the Saga, go get Expedition map, crack the map, go get a green source, but it's not amazing.
Yep.
It's too slow of a hand against Yawgmoth. And Harley's just pumping out insects. We have become the 1-1 beatdown train. And props to Harley for actually having this many insect tokens.
Sure.
Bug.
I do not. I think I have 2 or 3 parasites in my deck box with Yawgmoth right now. Which is a Yu-Gi-Oh card, and not technically an insect token. But it's pretty close. Right, using birds, cast an Ignoble Hierarch.
Draw.
Going to Boseiju the... Yep, Boseiju the Saga, and Chris is just going to scoop it up, and Harley will be taking game 2, and we're right into game 3. The power of modern editing, except that's not remotely modern at all. Oh, those cuts have been around for years. Forest for Chris, Overgrown Tomb for Harley into a Bird's Paradise. We're just laying a Civic Growth Chamber and picking up the forest. I think Chris was on a mod of 5 here, if I remember correctly. I don't remember what his 6 was. I know he talked to me a little bit about it afterwards, about whether or not I would keep it, but I don't remember seeing it. So, unfortunately, I cannot provide any help in that regard about whether or not I would have kept it. Harley's got a flock of creatures on the board. We have a wolf. We have a goblin. We have a bird.
Two. I'm gonna flash in an endurance. I'd like to target nobody.
He's going to flash in an endurance to block the young wolf.
Now it is a
Young wolf will have its undying trigger happen. It'll come back.
How many hands?
I've got 4.
Harley keep a one-lander. Alright, cast Necromentia. This card is Surgical Extraction, but a little bit more complicated. So you declare a card name. I wonder if TCG Player is working. If you watched the last video, it wasn't. And it's like my quick database on how to get cards. Necromentia, MTG. So you declare a card name, and then choose a card name other than a basic land name. Search target opponent's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with that name and exile them. That player shuffles them and creates a 2/2 black zombie creature token for each card exiled from their hand this way. It's Yawgmoth's probably best way of dealing with Titan. You just declare Primeval Titan and get rid of every single copy. You don't have to worry about the card. You can still very well die to Cultivator Colossus and Dryad of the Elysian Grove, just doing land shenanigans, but it is a lot easier of a matchup for you when Primeval Titan is not a card that can be played.
And then I'll ask my opponent what their favorite season is and just
You also get knowledge of what's in your opponent's hand and what they sideboarded, which is what Harley's doing now. He's looking at all his potential threats that he has to worry about, which should be a total of 3 copies of Endurance, 1 more copy of Cultivator Colossus, 1 Turn Dibber Symbiosis, which isn't really a threat, but it can make something into a threat, and then probably taking note of the 1 of Zusa, as that is typically stocked nowadays, but you never know, some people still play 2.
One other cultivator, one other endurance, 1 map, 1 relic, and 1. All the things, and it looks like only 1 is Zuza because the turn timber slots gotta come from somewhere.
No, even the list not playing turn timber, just play one.
I see between 1 and 2. I think 1.
Harley, as I've mentioned before, is a very deliberate player. He very rarely makes loose decisions. I don't know if I've actually ever really seen him make one.
Only if I get it from you.
And if I have, it's maybe been once or twice. So, making sure to comb through the deck, see what all possibilities Chris has, and making good note of it. Chris draws an Amulet for turn. Plays Saga as a land, attacks for 3, plays the Amulet.
Go ahead.
Passes the turn, has an Endurance in his hand. Harley still stuck on still appears to be stuck on a 1-lander. Granted, he has 2 mana dorks, so he has access to 3 mana. There's a high chance that he has Court of Calling in his hand with how he's approaching his turn right now. He's probably just debating between courting for 1 and either getting another Yawgmoth or getting another mana dork, or some other 3 mana play more so. Can't see his hand.
I don't think that's how I win the game though. But then I can.
If he has Yawgmoth in hand, he could always just court for 3 or court for 1 during Chris's turn. Get him a mana dork. Okay. Plays it on another copy of Ignoble Hierarch. Passes during Chris. Looks like he's debating if he wants to cast the Endurance. Right, decides to cast the Endurance. It's probably a safe play, considering he has a Summoner's Pact in his hand. And I imagine he has to have another green card, because he had Cultivator. Just doesn't have any acceleration, which is unfortunate. Right, gonna crack in for 6 here. There's the Court of Calling.
Court for 1? Yeah. Okay.
Goes and gets another Yawgmoth.
Yeah. You go to 11?
Yep. You're at 15, right? And I'm taking 3, so I'm gonna go to 12.
Alright.
I don't know, I had you at 14 over here.
We have resolved our Court of Calling.
Maybe somebody tapped.
Harley's taking some damage.
Okay.
Let's see where we get from
I
here.
didn't lose any other life. I've only taken increments of 3 and 2.
Makes sense.
So I'm at 12, you're at 20 still?
Yep.
Alright.
Chris's board state is not the greatest, but it's okay.
that'll
We're
be
working through
You want
it.
a cup?
Yes.
We're playing a very medium mid-range deck right now. I mean,
And,
Harley's only got one land.
and 1 mystery, correct?
He's got 4 mana, but he's got 1 land.
Draw.
Alright, Harley picks up a card return. That's definitely a Yawgmoth in his hand. Has a Yawgmoth, Strangle Rootgeist.
So what do I want to do?
Other
here?
thing.
You are 2 mana sources.
Alright, 4 mana. Gonna cost Yawgmoth, Durant Physician.
Yeah, Yawgmoth's fine.
He's kind of just chilling over there in the corner.
Sure.
4.
Ouch.
To attack in for 4 here. Putting Chris to 16.
Pale life.
Now,
Target.
activates Yawgmoth.
Young
Sacrificing your Birds of Paradise.
11.
Going to put a -1/-1 counter on the Yawgmoth draw card. Activates Yawgmoth again. Huh? Maybe not. Still has not found another land.
Pale leaf, activate Yawgmoth. Target Young Wolf Undying.
Alright, sacrifices the wolf, Undying trigger on the
Minus
stack.
10.
Yeah, I'm gonna cast a Sunder's
Chris is going to
Summon.
summon this back in response.
You can show me Besage. Okay, good. We'll get
Going to get another copy of Endurance.
I do believe I have the third. I'd like to cast said Endurance. I'd like to target you.
Which he is going to cast.
2 cards. Okay, 2 cards. 1 on them.
And sword. And your pact is spoken.
It is.
Or your lands are spoken.
Alright, use the ETB effect to shuffle away Harley's graveyard.
Resolve. No, I'm good. Yawgmoth trigger.
Then Harley gets to resolve Yawgmoth ability, draws a card. Interestingly, if he finds Besage, he wins the game by blowing up the Civic Grove Chamber, because then Chris can't pay for the Pact.
Drawing green source Besiju is really cool though, so I could do that.
But he would have to find Green Source plus Besage
Laser cannon me to death.
I
in
do like that,
4 draws.
but I think it would
So.
be more reasonable. I think I can beat the board. I think I just have to.
It's probably not worthwhile, especially when your opponent has 9 damage on the board. Looks like Chris just drew another Amulet, which is just not doing anything for him here.
Short damage.
Yeah.
Alright, goes to block. Activate Yawgmoth ability.
Draw a card.
We go down to 9 life, draws a card. -1 counter goes on the
Take
Endurance.
2.
Yep.
I'm at 7 though because I paid a life.
Yes.
And then Harley takes 2 damage, goes to 7.
Sees you?
Goes down to 5, casts a Thoughtseize. You see Cultivator Colossus,
Colossus, Razor.
Arboreal Grazer, Amulet of Vigor.
I'll take the Colossus.
Seems good.
Might have just popped it. I don't remember.
Taking the Colossus,
I think
okay.
I fucked up.
Is a Verdant Catacombs, fetches. Goes down to 4. It's a basic Forest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so if he has Cord, he can Cord for 2 here. Get either Zulaport Cutthroat or Blood Artist, whichever one he
And
plays.
you have Razor.
Then all he has to do is survive
Amulet,
Chris's turn, and then he should be able to win.
Razor.
Because if he Cords for Cutthroat / Artist,
Might have been able to
he can just start sacrificing things to shrink Chris's board a bit, and then cast Drungarootgeist next turn, combo off and just kill, as long as the sack dude stays around, or the drain one. Alright, plays 2 creatures out.
Sure.
Starts as a main. Alright, still courting. Wonder if it's.
Okay.
There's a Blood Artist. I wonder why you do it during your turn. Unless Harley just wants to draw more cards during his turn, maybe find land. No, he played a land for turn. I don't know. I'll have to ask him if there's a specific reason as to why he did it during his turn.
So. What is best here? I'm definitely gonna just block, sack, and start sucking.
He has a bunch of activations of Yawgmoth here.
And you have Amulet. You have no other bounce land. You have no other payoff. So I played a land. So I think I just get to pass here. Yeah, got it.
I'll keep.
So I think it's impossible for you to draw simultaneously bounce land and payoff.
We have Amulet, a Royal Grazer, and a bounce land in hand.
Yeah.
Cast the Amulet of Vigor.
I'll go to attack and try to hurt you.
Attacks in for 8
I
damage
will
here.
Activate Yawgmoth.
Going to get a Yawgmoth activation.
Gain a life, make you lose life, so you're just going to...
Harley won't lose any life in the process. I mean, he technically will, but the Blood Artist will gain life back. Chris will be taking damage this entire time.
Sacrifice.
So Harley will be able to draw a bunch of cards.
Here, you're
Shrink.
gonna lose a life.
The Endurance is a good bit. While also producing a blocker for...
I'm going to...
At least, yeah, for the Endurance. I don't think he puts the Artist in front of anything. So, as long as he doesn't go to 1, he's perfectly fine.
Block like this. Use a Hierarch. Targeting the wolf puts you to 13. Get a card.
Bunch of activations here.
I needed to block with this too, I think. Oh, no, I don't think I do. I might just be able to chew up the board. So then I get to... hit that. Put you to 12. Hit that, put you to 11.
Once again, Shrieking. So that Endurance is hitting for 1 damage. He's hit for 2 over there. The 1 is Shadow blocked.
Hit that. Put you to 10. So I'm going to be going to 2. Yep. In combat, I'll force both
Cast
of those.
Force of Vigor, pitching Birds of Paradise to pop the amulets.
Okay.
And you have Razor and then nothing, so you can't Dryad Valakut me in any way. So I'll go to 2. Sure.
Takes 2 points of damage, goes down to 2.
Post combat. Play a Grazer.
Plays out the Arboreal Grazer.
Put a culture.
Isn't going to matter, but...
Put a forest on it. Sure. Pass the turn.
Harley gets to untap here. And all he has to do is play the Stone Grass, which he just drew another one for turn.
Dice.
Kill you.
And then he's able to combo kill, and Harley's going to take it 2-1 with Golgari Yawgmoth over Chris Cherubini on Amulet Titan. Thank you for watching, folks. Have a great rest of your day.